All right, what's up guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at a new product from the Black Bean grocery line. It's going to be the Dilo styling powder. Typically, these types of powders are made for people with shorter hair. It's kind of to like chop things up, make things more interesting than having your like short hair just all flat for that super cool bowl cut, I guess. But for this, we're going to just kind of demo the powder and see how it works for my type of hair. It's about 4 to 5 inches at this point, a little bit wavy, and it's a lot thicker than James's. So kind of giving you guys both the opposite ends of the spectrum just to see how this powder kind of works in general. Guess I don't really need to like go over the like typical things. We're just gonna demo the product by itself, and then I'm gonna pair it with, I think, the 3 Beans Pomade, just to see how you guys can kind of mix things up and work this powder into your routine. So let's go ahead and start styling. I hate this part because the powder, any type of powder, sucks in terms of applying, whether it be like talcum powder, baby powder, whatever it is. It just kind of gets everywhere. So probably start with like this much. James said to like kind of smear it in your palms so that it doesn't kind of fly away, but I haven't had much luck. So I already spilled like 1/8 of it, so I'm just gonna screw it. So with powders, you should kind of just want to work it in to your hair. Definitely recommend doing this with like misted hair, or like just kind of run your hands through water and just kind of dampen your hair a little, because this thing soaks up liquid just because of whatever's in it. Definitely gonna need to vacuum later. So I've seen James do this. Don't know what that really does, but see, it's really hard to style, I guess, like a flatter style for my type of hair, just because if I really went straight down, it's gonna cover essentially a lot of what my face is. Cool. So as you guys can see, it's starting to like separate the hair pretty well. Pretty much going K-pop star right now. So as you guys can see, the product itself provides a good amount of hold. It's definitely on like it's a lot drier of a hold than if you were to use like regular pomade, and that's obvious because it is a powder. Once you work it in your hair, you're gonna feel like a very strong sense of like dryness, not in the sense of like suavecito kind of stripping away all your oils from your hair after you shampoo it. This is more of like a waxy or clay kind of hold to it. If you guys know what I mean, then you guys kind of understand it, but if you don't, then I don't really know how to explain it. So I don't know if I'm gonna go out in the streets like this, but I guess it's cool going with like the whole popular bowl cut K-pop kind of trend. Definitely nice texture, responds pretty well to like your finger combing. Like you can mess it up and it'll stay kind of separated. So it works decently well for long hair if you're trying to get a very minimal style. A minimal like style out of it. But let's see, you can't really pull it back just because it definitely isn't a slick product. There's no weight to it, so my hair typically doesn't stand up by itself with a product that is like super light. You guys can kind of see like the hold that the powder has. It's still pretty strong, but it's not going to be strong enough to be a standalone product. So I'm gonna go wash my hair and then we'll be back to do the 3 Beans combination. Look at that. let's go ahead and take a look at how this kind of works in conjunction with the 3 Beans pomade. I'm gonna use about this much. And as a refresher, this is a firm hold water-based formula. All right, so I just applied a little bit of the 3 Beans pomade. So we'll go ahead and just kind of show you guys how the powder works in conjunction with this. So probably use about a couple sprinkles. Probably gonna have to vacuum a little bit later, but what you guys are gonna notice during the application is the more powder you put in, the drier and drier that I guess your hair will feel. So get ready for some tugging. All right. So the powder has definitely for the most part, completely dried out my hair. It's giving me more of like a super dry look. Definitely a little bit more volume than if I were to use the 3 Beans pomade alone. Texture, let's see, a lot more responsive, just because my theory is that it's a lot drier, so things kind of respond more, not urgently, but it just responds a lot better. All right. So why, I guess for me, I like this combination is the 3 Beans pomade gives the styling or like the hair a little bit of a weight to it, so that my hair kind of can stay up. With the styling powder, it kind of dries things out even more, so that you can get more of like what I want to term it as, like the clay appearances. Just to compare it to like if you were to use clay products, it's a very dry and like airy and like volumizing kind of sensation. Combining the two, definitely recommend putting the 3 Beans pomade first, so you kind of set the foundation of like a heavy styling initially, and then once you use the styling powder, it kind of dries things out, kind of gives you more of like a loose top, I guess. So you can get a lot more hold, a lot more volume. The hair becomes a little bit more responsive just because it does feel a little bit drier. Scent itself is just the 3 Beans for me. The scent on the Dialo styling powder is very light, so I can barely tell what it is, but I do know that it's rose water or just rose essence. Nothing that is bothering me whatsoever. So finger combing it, super easy. Cool. So let's go ahead and get throughout the day, and then I'll show you guys if this kind of lasts. All right, peace out. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up because it is hot outside and I am tired. So we're about hour 6 or 7. I'd say about hour 1 or 2, things do kind of dry out, and you're left with like a good mix of a heavy weight, unorthodox, I guess, water-based pomade mixed in with like a very light clay kind of finish as well. So it's hard to explain. You kind of have to like experience it. The top layer is like very dry, whereas like the bottom layer is like a very heavy like foundation to kind of hold everything in place. So as you guys can see, restyling it, very possible, good amount of texture. Things are still held in place. In terms of performance, not much has changed. One thing I am kind of worried about is that the more you mess with it, I guess the more like physically you're gonna be removing the product from your hair, and as a result, you're gonna have more strays and just more flyaways in general. So I don't know, it's just a pro or con of using a very like texturizing or loose product. So what we see is essentially what we had in the beginning, just like a tad bit drier. You see So it's still very responsive, a little bit looser, but doesn't change too much, even with the addition of the styling powder. Cool. Let's see the top. As you guys see, is like nice texturizing kind of agent to your hair. All right, I think that's pretty much all I got to say about this. Maybe a good shampooing will pretty much take everything out, but that's with most water-based formulas anyways. I think James is going to be including this as like a packaged combo just because it worked pretty well. What was the name of it? So I know he has like the baby boy starter pack on Black Bean Grocery right now, and that includes the texturizing cream as well as the Dilo styling powder. But with 3 beans combined with the styling powder, I think we're gonna name it Let's Pull Up to the Boba Shop in Our Civic and Kick It and Smoke Cigs combo pack. Just really trying to get the vibe of like the OC Garden Grove Asian American kind of scene. So that's what we came up with. Cool. All right, catch you guys next time.